Today we're going to talk about painting our clay project. The first thing that you're going to want to do before you start is flip over your clay project very carefully because it's fragile. And your carved name will be there, but I always like to write my name in pencil also. Because pencil is easier to use than when we did it with a toothpick. So this is going to show up a lot better. And then you can write your art code too. Now, when we paint our clay today, we're going to be using our watercolor paints, these. But I'm also going to give you the option of using oil pastel with that paint. You can put the oil pastel on before you paint as well as after. So you can use these at any point. I'm going to do a little bit of both so that you can see the difference. So to start, I'm going to choose any color. Colors don't matter. And I'm just going to start by adding a little bit of oil pastel color on top of these wavy lines that I created. Just to kind of make them stand out a little bit. Another thing you can do is blend colors together. So I can take this darker blue and put it right on top of the light blue that I started with. You can use as much pastel or as little pastel as you want. It's totally up to you. I think that's all that I'm going to start with today. So after you're done with using pastel for a while, we're going to get our paint. So we're going to need water, our clay paint brushes, and our paint. Now to use this paint, all you have to do is clean your brush, put some water into the color you want to use, get that paint working, and then very carefully you can start putting that color right on top of your clay. It's a little bit different from painting paper because your clay is three-dimensional. So you're going to have to tap it down inside any different textures to really get that paint to cover the entire area. And I can paint right over my oil pastel and it resists the paint just like it does on paper. So that's kind of cool. It has that glow in the dark look. Now as you're painting, you're also going to want to paint the inside edge right here, as well as the outside edge over here. The only part that you do not need to worry about is painting the back. It's okay if a little bit of paint gets on there on accident, but you don't need to worry about painting it on purpose. If you want to blend colors, just clean your brush, choose your second color or your third color, however many you want to blend, and you can just paint right on top. I'm just going to keep on going until I've filled up all the white clay with color. Now that I have it all painted, I think that it needs a little bit more of the dark color of the pastel. I kind of went with a lot of warm colors for my paint, so I think I need to kind of balance it out with a little bit more of the dark color. So I think I'm just going to use this on the edges and just kind of rub it over some of the texture to kind of make it stand out a little bit more. I did like a fingerprint texture. So when you rub an oil pastel over the texture, it kind of makes it stand out a little bit more. And I think that is just what this needed. It was just not quite, just didn't have that certain something, but I think this dark bold color is kind of what it needed. Now that I have all of my oil pastel and all of my paint done, I need to put on a layer of Mod Podge to seal the pastel and the paint into the clay. Right now, if I were to rub my finger on this, that oil pastel and the paint would come off. You can kind of see how it rubs off on your fingers. So the Mod Podge seals it on. So you're just going to open your little cup carefully. And then you're going to take your same paintbrush, wash it off really good, and dry it off really good, because we don't want to get any water in that Mod Podge. Now I'm just going to go ahead and take some on my brush. Kind of looks like Elmer's glue. And as I put this on, I'm going to sort of bounce my paintbrush. Now I'm doing this for a couple reasons. First of all, I don't want to scrub hard back and forth because that's not good for my paintbrush. I also am bouncing so that the Mod Podge gets down in all the little cracks. Bouncing also kind of keeps the paintbrush from smearing your oil pastel. If you rub back and forth, it's going to smear. And it does have kind of a weird white color when you first put it on, but don't worry because it's going to dry completely clear. So this is going to get bounced all over your whole project, except for the back. If you put Mod Podge on the back of your project, it's going to get stuck to this paper towel. So you only need it on the top and on the sides. Also be careful when you're adding Mod Podge that you don't get Mod Podge in your holes, because if those get clogged up, you won't be able to weave on it later. If you do get a little bit of Mod Podge in one of the holes, what I do is take a little scrap piece of paper towel, fold it up really skinny, or roll it up. You can just get it out. Looks like I got mine clogged a little bit. There we go. You're just going to keep going until you fill your whole project with Mod Podge, and then put your paintbrush into the water bucket to soak all that Mod Podge off of it.